There's no question that Punta Cana has grown and changed quite a bit in recent years, and with those changes come new things to be aware of before visiting. Hey everyone, it's Vanessa and welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to give you all the do's and don'ts you'll need when visiting Punta Cana, many of which most people, reviewers included, don't really talk about. So stay tuned so I can help you all have the best possible stay in Punta Cana. Beginning with when you arrive, you'll want to avoid taxis and even Uber because they are, not surprisingly, very pricey, and your rates will be determined by both distance and time of day and even traffic conditions. But generally speaking, you can expect an average of $20 to $40 for short trips from the airport to a nearby resort. But if your resort is 30 minutes or more from the Punta Cana airport, we're talking upwards of $80 to $100. So best option is resort transportation, many of which are included, especially at all-inclusive properties, or just rent a car. It's about the same price per day and in some cases cheaper, and you give yourself a lot more flexibility. Now, if like many visitors, you don't plan on leaving resort property until checkout, then a car would of course be a waste. So again, resort transportation is hands down your best option. And if by chance your resort doesn't offer any, maybe split taxi cost by passenger if traveling as a group, as many visitors to Punta Cana do. But at the very least, if it's not provided, budget at least a couple $100s for transportation to and from the airport, because many visitors get caught not expecting fares to be so high and get very upset when they're not prepared. And that's just not how you want to start your vacation. Next, you're always going to want to book your stay at an all-inclusive resort. Yes, I mostly talk about all-inclusives on the channel, but if there's one place that I suggest you only go all-inclusive more than any other, it's Punta Cana. They've just perfected the all-inclusive stay for every type of visitor and budget. The variety is the best anywhere. 90% of their properties are all-inclusive, so that's a lot. And even if you think you might not be an all-inclusive person, you'll find at least one that's perfect for you here. The other thing that Punta Cana has done so well in recent years is luxury all-inclusive options, from Tortuga Bay to Sanctuary Cap Cana to Hyatt Zilara, which are all some of my favorite properties that I've talked about many times, but they've really just upped their game and kind of set the standard for other countries on how you can have a luxurious stay in a convenient all-inclusive package. And I think that's the most I've ever said the word all-inclusive, so just don't sleep on them because they're truly some of the best. Now to a don't, and that's don't worry about the rain. Many people have given the impression that it's always raining there, and that's just not the case. The 2 months I would advise to avoid for weather reasons are September and October. That's usually when they get their big storms, unless you have travel insurance. But the rest of the year is actually very pleasant. Yes, of course they get rain and storms the rest of the year. It is on a tropical island, and some of them can be very strong, but they tend to pass very quickly, in a couple hours at most. Those of you who've been to Disney World know what I mean. Torrential downpours in the afternoon for an hour or two, and then you can go about your day. And it's the same thing in Punta Cana. And as far as temperatures, like anywhere, they do spike in the summer months, great for swimming, but most of the year is sunny and pleasant and in the 80s. So don't listen to naysayers about the weather, because it's really much nicer than what you've heard. Now to something that's a do for everyone, even those staying at all-inclusives, and that's to bring cash. Most people don't mention this in reviews, but you're expected to tip everywhere, from your driver to the staff member handling your luggage to housekeeping and even bartending staff. Not necessarily after every drink, of course, but once you're finished drinking, offer the tip. I know many countries and resort brands tell you to leave your cash at home, and some even forbid tipping, but that's not really the case in Punta Cana. It's an unspoken understanding that any and all staff assisting you will need to be tipped, and like I said, that's at all-inclusives as well. The good news is, if you're American or traveling to Punta Cana from the US, dollars are accepted pretty much everywhere now, even souvenir shops, so you won't need to exchange your cash if you don't want to. As far as how much to tip, I used to advise based on what we usually give, and I got quite a bit of criticism saying it was way too much. I'm not sure why that would be a bad thing, so I'll say to leave it to your own discretion. But try to be fair for services rendered because the staff all work very hard and unfortunately are not compensated accordingly. Now to a don't, and that's to not expect nudity. Yes, I know this is one of the more shocking things I've discussed on the channel, but many visitors are very surprised by this. As a very Catholic country, it's against the law to be nude or even topless in public. So generally speaking, and I want to emphasize I'm saying generally, resorts in the area are very strict about this. You will see a few guests here and there at properties like the Hard Rock or Breathless try to push the boundaries, but that doesn't mean it's allowed or been sanctioned by the resort. So again, many travelers might be surprised by this strict policy because Punta Cana has this pretty inaccurate, in my opinion, reputation as being a wild party place for vacationers. And that's not true at all. Especially in recent years, it's becoming more and more of a family vacation spot with more family-friendly properties, activities, and kids clubs. So if you are looking for topless-friendly and even nude properties, stick to resorts in Cancun and Riviera Maya in Mexico, and pretty much everywhere in Jamaica. I remember the first time we went to Jamaica, we had a private car, and the driver was pointing out all the nudity-friendly properties on the ride back to the airport, and there are many. But bottom line, don't try that in Punta Cana. Now to a do, and that's do go for the beaches. The beaches in the Punta Cana area are incredibly underrated, and visitors and reviewers alike either completely ignore or downplay them. But in my opinion, they're the best part of a Punta Cana vacation. The sand is soft and so pretty, you can swim in clear blue water, and the coral reefs are wonderful for exploring as well. A lot to choose from here with 10 beaches just in the immediate Punta Cana area. And if you're feeling adventurous, you can stroll down the beach, explore a bunch of them by renting a Jeep, or even try a horseback ride on the sand. And if you're willing to go a bit further, about half an hour from Punta Cana, you have the absolutely beautiful beaches of the Bavaro area, which I've talked about many times over the years. They're just lovely. So don't be like the many visitors who make the pools their focus when visiting Punta Cana. It's such a shame because the beaches here are far superior to those in Jamaica and most of Mexico, so be sure to make them a part of your next stay. And now to another don't, which is also very underrated. Don't skip the spas. A lot of people do, and I think this is another result of the inaccurate reputation of the area as a party place. And what level of quality could their spas possibly be? But they're absolutely wonderful, and if you don't want to splurge on treatments, many of their all-inclusive properties offer free access or passes to their hydrotherapy circuits, so you can indulge in their private pools for a little more peace and quiet, steam rooms, saunas, and my favorite part, the relaxation areas. Some of my standouts that I'd highly recommend would be the spa at Zoetry Agua. The garden setting here is so relaxing. The hydrotherapy circuit at Excellence Punta Cana is great. And maybe best of all, the Larimar Spa at Hyatt Ziva, which is underground with a cave-like setting and has the DR's first Himalayan salt lounge. Just amazing. Everyone is obviously different. For some people, when they enjoy that first drink by their resort pool, that's when they get that, I'm on vacation feeling. But for me, it's when I walk into the spa for the first time. I just feel like I can finally completely relax and enjoy my stay. So definitely another great part of a Punta Cana vacation that's not to be missed. So I could definitely go on with even more Punta Cana do's and don'ts, but I know viewers don't really enjoy long videos anymore, so let me know if you'd like to see a part 2 in the future by giving this a thumbs up, because I use that to gauge what you'd like to see more of. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you all very soon. Bye, guys.